Extra space and support are needed at shelter systems across the country as we head into a winter with below average temperatures. According to data from the federal government, around 60,000 people experience homelessness on any given night in this country, a number that has doubled since 2018. Pressure is now mounting for some organizations who say they are already over capacity. Joining us to discuss the current state of shelters is Peter Tilley. He's CEO of the Ottawa Mission. Good morning.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
Let's start with where you are. What are you seeing in the city of Ottawa?
Well, you're right when you said right across the country. What we're seeing here in Ottawa is no different than what my peers are telling me is happening in the major centers right across Canada, that we're seeing unprecedented numbers of the people who are homeless or unhoused here in the city of Ottawa. It's just been like that actually since the pandemic broke. It's like that right through the summer months. Normally in the past, our beds would open up in the summer. We'd have 20 or 30 vacant beds, but we don't anymore right through the summer. And now into the winter, we've got 20 to 30, sometimes 40 people a night in our waiting area, sleeping in plastic chairs or curled up on the floor, hoping a mat that goes down on the floors when we're at overcapacity, or a bed will open up in the next few days. And we'd rather they be in here in that position than be outside when it's minus 21 right now as we're speaking here in the nation's capital.
Yeah, and those are temperatures that are just not livable outdoors. You know, we talk about not leaving kids or other vulnerable people outside for any length of time when it's that cold. It is, you know, it is places like you that are providing shelter for people who just, it's not sustainable to live out there in that cold. You did a story last week out of Ottawa. We ran it here on Your Morning. You said there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Can you explain what you meant by that?
Yeah, and I was talking on the national scale for many shelters and many organizations that we haven't seen the big affordable housing builds that we need to get us out of this situation, that we have been year over year of promises, but a little bit of very limited activity happening. And we're hoping to see some development sometime. It does take some time for a build to start up and get accomplished, but we'd like to see some action, some relief at the end of the tunnel. And finally, after saying that last week, not because I said it, I was actually in attendance yesterday at the Mayor's Breakfast here in Ottawa with Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and our honored guest, the Honorable Prime Minister Mark Carney. And we had an announcement that the federal government and the city of Ottawa are going to partner on a $400 million initiative for new builds. For its part, as the mayor had mentioned several months ago, we're going to look at waiving or reducing development fees, permit fees, property taxes, and other initiatives to stimulate developers to begin developing. And the federal government, as we heard yesterday, is coming to the table to hopefully build 1,000 new affordable homes. And that was good news and welcome relief for a sector like ours that's been under such pressure for the last few years.
Absolutely. It does take some of that pressure off and provides, you know, light at the end of the tunnel. But let's be honest, it's a long tunnel. Over the weekend, Ontario's opposition leader, Merritt Stiles, spoke to reporters. She was in Windsor, and she was talking about the current homelessness situation in the province of Ontario. I want to play that for our viewers, and you and I will chat out of it.
Sure.
This is a state of emergency, but what we need is the province to come through with the funding. Instead, they download everything onto the cities to handle it, and we don't have enough. There's just not enough money to go around right now to support all those programs. It really is a provincial responsibility. So the province needs to come forward.
So what then does that look like?
Well, that's the download is the key word in that. That's happened over the years, Anne-Marie, where we've just seen again the municipalities having to come up with affordable housing opportunities, initiatives and incentives, trying to find places for people to get through the winter months. In the past year in Ottawa, it's requisitioning and taking over people's rec centers, people's arenas. Never a popular thing, but at no choice when you're at such overcapacity. Right now, we're working on a strategy with the city to alleviate our numbers. I'm pleased to hear that we only had 21 people in that waiting lounge area last night on a night when it was minus 21, and that's some of the initiatives we're doing. But she is right that it's been years of downloading, and we think it has to start at the federal level as well as the provincial level. We recently had the city of Ottawa work somewhat with IRCC to help us alleviate the newcomer pressures that we've all been facing. in the news for the last year and a half. So we've moved them on into transition centers, but that was a city-driven initiative that happened within a year and a half. So it was quick compared to sometimes these development opportunities. And you are right, the light at the end of the tunnel, even with federal money and initiatives and incentives working with municipalities and the provinces, that's years to come. We've got to get through several winters and several years here, and we're at overcapacity already. Such a demand for our services.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are already at below average temperatures, and we haven't even hit January yet. Peter Tilley, CEO of the Ottawa Mission, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.